Chapter 1 Cry for Help. Joe Antonio Vargas, also known as Angry Joe, is a fun but also mad character. He makes sure that the games he's reviewing are either bad, stupid, or perfect. As he always say, 1 out of 10 epic fail or 10 out of 10 badass seal of approval. He was also bullied for playing Pokemon cards in the girls' bathroom. He was also a mommy's boy, trying to get his mom's attention, but his older sister gets it first while he gets egged a lot from his dad. 24-3. The only friends in the neighborhood were Drake, Marley, Frank, Joe, and Darrell. But one of them either got lost or went to boarding school for no good reason. The only one who stayed was Marley, and after college, they got married and bought a house in Austin, Texas, U.S. But there was a game that he remembered from his childhood, that being RE3 or Dumbass to Gay Ass. Marley and Joe broke up in 2007 as he talked about on video on November 13th, 2007. The breakup happened in July, so there was 5 months apart from each other. After that, in 2008, he made his first channel. On his first video was called "Shit That Pissed Me Off," mad in 2009. It might have been a hit to his day, but the most controversial video that Joe ever made was the Fallout 4 review. Not a lot of people liked it because Joe said that the only way to get bottle caps is to find them in either abandoned bars, buildings, or near enemies. His words, not mine. Soon later, he talked about Devil May Cry remake. It might have been awful, but one thing for sure, he smashed the hell out of it. Over the next few years, Joe would go to California Comic Con to meet some famous gamers such as 1. John Ton, 2. Boogie298, 3. ABGN, 4. PBG, and finally number 5, The Completionist. Even though Joe had no comment on the sex laws in video games, he still had a fun time in the booth. Although this isn't the end in 2010, he meet a guy that looks so Mexican and so sexy he was named Joe or Other Joe. If you saw his content for the past 19 years, there's also others such as Alex, but he is innocent. Even though Alex did some stupid things, he still has some good arc for him. Anyway, before I can continue, there's Marley. You know that girl. I talked about, well, you're about to love this one. Part 3 Fix It, You Won't. On December 12, 2019, Marley hooked up with a guy named Brandon Rogers. She met him at Texas Comic Con and they started dating. Then, however, it was only gotten very worse for Brandon. See, she was a hooker after Joe broke up with her. So having Brandon hooking with a girl who was a hooker is beyond mean. Instead, he used her in a few videos she's in. But luckily, he deleted those videos and archived them. But she wasn't having it, so she called her brother and she told him about Brandon. Henry picked her up and they went to the bar and they see other people. She said, "That guy, he looks familiar." Then she pulls out her lipstick and tries to flirt with other Joe, but then Joe ran away like a pussy because it reminded him of the Saints Row dildo. She's now is arrested for taking coke from someone's house, and she also harassed a guy named Coke Void 8215. Joe saw this and talked about how she betrayed him by taking all of his money. 4. Far from stupid. Joe went to YouTube and sees he keeps getting copyright claim and strike by Capcom, Valve, Rockstar, Activision, Nintendo, etc. He still does it anyway, but at what cost? Even though he made some fails in the past, the most personal thing he keeps the most is his grandpa's ashes. His mom also went to his house to comfort him because he made a dad joke in front of PBG and Tyga, but he did found someone who's also have some sort of game to come, that being Storyfire TVG, aka the video game. Joe saw this on Reddit post and wanted to stupidly test it out. However, when he got in it, there was Madden fans on it from 2018 to 2020. Joe got upset but ignored it and moved on with the game. It was two players, so he got Joe to play it with him for 2 hours. He called his YouTube partner to take down the game, and so he did. Jesse was pissed, and Brian was being gay by sticking his toys up his holes. He was happy, but he made references so he can make more money on YouTube. Jesse sued Joe for $40 billion for taking down the game. Back in Florida, Barbie, not the Barbie from the toy, just a celebrity, got called by Joe to win the suing, and so she did. She said, and I quote, "Out of all the bitches I have dealt with, this man deserves some credit, and he needs some girls in his life, so don't try to sue him over a retarded game," end quote. Hopefully no one listened to that, because I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking get a crackhead. His dying breath. After all of this, it's finally time to talk about the big one. On October 21st, 2016, Joe made a video called The Adventures of a Fallen Hero. He said in his video that he wouldn't play any subscription games because it can expire and he has to pay it over and over again. When he played World of Warcraft, his account was hacked 4 times in a row. But when he switched to Mario Party 5, his account was pirated 3 times. Don't get hacked by your PC, please. Be safe from it, guys. Oh, and by the way, I found this article of Angry Joe's game reviews, but when I found out it was fake, Joe never reviewed these games. I don't know why CBC has to talk about this. The last fair. We finally made it. Now here is the pedophile records. Now I have no screenshots of it, but I see an article of it. So if you want to see it, link is in the description. Now let's do this. Back in 2012, Joe was going with a stripper named Sam or Samantha. She was only 18 and Joe was 28. 10 fucking years apart. What the fuck, Joe? How the hell is this not in court for this? Anyway, I think I'm done. Hear God, that was terrible. If you find this symbol, you found another clue. Find more clues like these, and you win a prize. The mystery. I'm.
Are you Iron Man? Fuck off.